doing good. I pray unto God for your wellness, your happiness, your good health and peace and prosperity and success. May God Almighty bless you all with all that you wish. Especially, I pray unto God that you have good health because we know that we are in the time of the pandemic, and the pandemic is having a very, very negative impact on the world. The consequences, of course, very, very painful. Lots of people just die, many get affected, and many are in the hospitals. Let's just remember all the suffering, the sick, and the poor, and let us just try to help them as we can, maybe in cash or in kind. Let's just try to help them. At least just remember them in your prayers and wish that God will help everybody. Okay, now let us continue our discussion of the poem of Walt Whitman. In fact, we have come almost halfway through the poem of Walt Whitman, which is titled Passage to India. And let us just have a quick review. I said I would begin my live streaming session 12:25, 12:30, but I just started a bit early because I just wanted to review whatever we discussed in the previous live streaming sessions. So to those of my audience or my subscribers or my students who have just joined right now, just today, let me tell you that there are, of course, three other lectures about Walt Whitman and the poem Passage to India in this channel. So you can just go to the playlist on MA English and just look at all those previous live streaming lectures and go through all of those lectures and have a clear idea about Passage to India of Walt Whitman. Today, we have to discuss the fourth and the fifth. We are discussing the fourth and the fifth sections of this great poem, Passage to India of the great American poet Walt Whitman. And we understand that this poem, Passage to India, is taken from the anthology titled Autumn Rivulets. So the title of the anthology from which the poem Passage to India is taken is Autumn Rivulets. And we know that this poem is about the material unification of the world by engineering and the spiritual unification of the world by mysticism. So it's about the unification of the world on one side through science and technology and material development. Okay, that is of course engineering, and material unification one side, and the other side spiritual unification, and spiritual unification is through mysticism, transcendentalism, religion, spirituality. Okay, and now the poet is in the modern times. He is in the 19th century. He is of course writing in the late 1860s, right, or rather early, all right. And at that time, there were some very important incidents, global incidents, like 1869, the opening of Suez Canal, and 1866, the transatlantic cable, laying of the transatlantic cable. So the poet, after these three engineering marvels, the Suez Canal of 1869, opening of the Suez Canal of 1869, and the laying of the Trans-American Railroad, and the laying of the transatlantic cable of 1866, he is writing about the possible unification of the entire lands of the world and the unification of mankind through one side science and the other side by spirituality, religion, mysticism. Okay, so the poem Passage to India slowly moves from material unification of the world achieved by the engineers to spiritual union, that is the province of mysticism. And the poem is all the time signifying the unification of the whole lands of the world, and of course the unification of the people of the world, right? And so far in the previous lectures we have discussed three sections: section 1, section 2, and section 3 of the poem. We know that this is a long poem with 9 sections. So Passage to India has 9 sections, and in the former live streaming lectures we'll discuss 3. Let us just review what are or what is the theme of the first 3 sections we discussed in the previous lectures. Section 1, the poet sings about the present material achievement on one side, and he also sings about the past attainments. Rather, in section 1, he sings about the present, that is scientific achievement of the West, of Africa, and in the second stanza of section 1, he sings about the achievement of the past. He says that no, the present alone is not marvelous or meritorious. The past has also its own glory. And he speaks about the present in stanza 1 of section 1, and stanza 2 he speaks about the past as well. And now we after that we went to section 2, and section 2 of Passage to India, the poet sings of a new religion which will combine the scientific achievements of the present and the spiritual attainments of the past. So we need a new religion, and this new religion is a combination of the achievements of man through science, through technology, through engineering, and also through spirituality and religion, and that is mysticism. So he's just requesting for the invention or creation or the making of a new religion which can combine the entire lands of the world, entire lands of the universe, and of course the minds of people all over the world. That is section 2. And after that we went to section 3, and in section 3 of Passage to India, Walt Whitman just speaks about the very material advancement on one side, and he says that man's material advancement is only a means to his spiritual progress. Okay, so all the engineering skills and engineering marvels of modern man should just take him to spiritual nourishment, spiritual progress. Then only life is becoming complete or meaningful. So he says that material advancement is only a means to spiritual progress. And he is, of course, Whitman seems to master the vastness of space through his visionary power. Poets are very talented and gifted, and poets have the visionary power. And through the visionary power of the poet can just master or look at or visualize or explain the vastness of the space. That is, right, we have the atmosphere, we have the solar system. The poet is looking at the solar system, looks at the sun, he looks at the planets, he looks at the earth, and he is explaining all that. And the poets thoughts also span time. That is, Whitman just thinks about what happened in the past. Okay, and he says that whatever man in 21st century, or rather in the 19th century, the poem is written in 1869, 70, 71. Okay, so whatever man achieved in the 19th century, okay, or 20th century, is the very result of the dream of people, great people like astronomers, sailors, navigators, captains. Okay, their dream. All this is the dream of all these people: navigators, sailors, explorers. Okay, and Whitman is asserting the fact that the achievement of the present, the modern world is, of course, the result of the very search, or the very craze for knowledge, the craze for finding, the craze for discovery, and of course the very, very dream of lot many navigators, captains, and sailors, and all. And he says the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus is in fact a step forward. This is in fact first step forward to finding a shorter passage to India. So we have navigators, all right, sailors, captains, etc. And because of the very dream of all these people, Christopher Columbus found the American, I mean, in fact, the American continent, right, United States of America, and that is the very first step of finding a sea route to India. And our poet Whitman writes about that. Okay, and now again we can see section 3 is ending with "Ah Genesee." I'm just coming to the ending of section 3 of poem. "Ah Genesee, thy dream, centuries after thou art laid in thy grave, the shore thou foundest verifies thy dream." Okay, so many centuries after the Genoese dream, that is Galileo just knew that the earth is round, and he know that the earth is just revolving around the sun. We have in fact a solar centric universe. Okay, that is of course a heliocentrism. All right, heliocentrism, right? Geocentric concept of astronomers before Kepler and Galileo is just demolished by, or found wrong by Galileo, and thereafter Galileo says that the earth is round, and in fact a rounding of the earth is possible, and that dream of the Genesi person from Geneva is fulfilled, and that is of course the finding of United States of America, that is the finding of India, that is the finding of the sea route to India by Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama. So Whitman is speaking about all that in these 3 sections. Now we have to move forward to section 4. Before just explaining section 4, let us have a reading of section 4. Maybe when we will explain it after a reading of the poem Passage to India, 4th section. So please come to take your course, if you have textbooks of Whitman's anthology, or rather if you have a copy of the poem Passage to India, please take the 4th section. We have to begin the discussion of 4th section right now. So I'm just reading section 4. Passage to India. Struggles of many a captain. tales of many a sailor dead. Over my mood, stealing and spreading they come, like clouds and cloudlets in the unreached sky. Along old history, down the slopes, as a rivulet running, sinking now, and now again to the surface rising, a ceaseless thought, a very train, lo, Saul, to thee, thy sight, they rise. Good afternoon, Anita. Thank you so much for joining. Please ask everybody to join. Thank you. We are in section 4 of the poem Passage to India. I'm just reading section 4, and I'll explain it afterwards. Okay, thank you for joining, everybody. Wish you all a good afternoon. Good afternoon, Amar. Good. I just began the class. I just gave a short intro to whatever we discussed in the previous lectures, and now I'm reading out 4th section. Please listen. As a rivulet running, sinking now, and now again to the surface rising, a ceaseless thought, a very train, lo, Saul, to thee, thy sight, they rise. The plans, the voyages again, the expeditions again. Vasco da Gama sails forth, again the knowledge gained, the mariner's compass, lands found and nations born. Thou born America, for purpose vast, man's lost probation fill. Thou rondure of the world at last accomplish. So, Passage to India, as we know, is about the achievement of man on one side, okay, modern man's achievement, scientific achievement, material achievement on one side. The other side, it is also about spiritual unification. And in section 4, which we discuss at the moment, Whitman is praising Vasco da Gama. Whitman is praising, of course, all the navigators, all the sailors, all the captains, and he just mentions the name of Vasco da Gama. He is praising Vasco da Gama for finding a sea route to India, and of course, he says that because Vasco da Gama found or he discovered a sea route to India, the dream of great many navigators, the dream of great many astronomers like Galileo is possible. And what was their dream? Their dream was to rondier. Their dream was to go around the globe, go around the earth. And that dream of the astronomers, that dream of the navigators, that dream of all the captains and sailors is possible because the Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama found the sea route to India. You know, he came to, of course, the Cape of Good Hope, and he came around, right? He came to Cape of Good Hope at the southernmost tip of the African continent, and there, of course, thereafter he crossed over to Kapad in the Indian subcontinent. So now in this section of the poem, Whitman is praising Vasco da Gama for finding a sea route to India, and of course, it is this section, that is section 4 of the poem. Remember, my dear students, is a very, very sincere thanking of Whitman to all those great mariners, navigators, captains, whose adventurous spirit led to the realization of the dream of great navigators or astronomers, like rounding the earth. Okay, and Whitman in the 4th section is just congratulating, appreciating, or he pays tribute to the adventurous, courageous spirit of Vasco da Gama, Amerigo Vespucci, then Christopher Columbus. Then, of course, you have many other navigators and captains like that. So let us just look at the poem. fourth section of the poem, one by one. Okay, passage to India. Okay, this the poet Walt Whitman and his soul is just traveling. They have already started the journey. Okay, and why do they travel? They travel because they want a kind of spiritual nourishment. Okay, they want to find more meaning for life. We have scientific achievements, and the scientific achievements and technological achievements of modern man does not help us or help them to have peace, meaning, or satisfaction. Now, in order to have meaning for life, science is not enough. In order to have maybe peace, science is not enough. You also need religion. You also need spirituality. You also need, right, maybe an idea, maybe a part of the oversoul in you. And for that, you need a new religion, which is, of course, a confluence or a combination of the spiritual and the scientific. And for that, people from the West must go to the East. Poet from America will go to India in Asia. All right. Now we have the poem, Passage to India, Struggles of Many a Captain. This journey to India is possible. This journey around the earth is possible. Why? Because many captains struggled. Because Amerigo Vespucci struggled. Because Vasco da Gama struggled. Because Christopher Columbus struggled. Yes, struggles of many a captain, tales of many a sailor dead. You know, you have read about Christopher Columbus, you read about Amerigo Vespucci, you read about Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama, and you know that they had to encounter a lot of difficulties. They had a lot of problems on the way. Many died, and all this is mentioned here. Struggles of many a captain, tales of many a sailor dead. Over my mood, stealing and spreading they come. Over my mood, Walt Whitman, the poet, at the moment when he is making this pilgrimage along with his soul to India, when he is with his visionary power. A poet, remember, Walt Whitman speaks about transcendentalism. Walt Whitman speaks about mysticism. And a transcendentalist, a mystic, a religious person, a spiritualist, remember, can just travel with God. So with his visionary power, Walt Whitman is traveling with his soul. It doesn't mean a physical travel. It's making a kind of a visionary travel, right? It's in vision. And over my mood, stealing and spreading, they come. They come. Who come? All these mariners, navigators, captains, sailors just stand in front of Walt Whitman when he thinks about the present time, the time of the opening of Suez Canal, the time of the laying of the transatlantic cable, the time of the American railroad. Over my mood, stealing and spreading, they come like clouds and cloudlets in the unreached sky. How do these people come? How do the captains and sailors and mariners come? There are hundreds. There are lots of great, courageous, bold mariners, captains, and all of them come like clouds, lots of clouds and cloudlets, little particles of clouds and cloudlets in the unreached sky. Okay, so unreached sky. Okay, because the sky is not yet reached. Those days, right? Remember, it is in the 19th century, right? The time is, of course, 1860s, 1867, 1868. All right. So now we have NASA. We have, of course, our own Indian space research going on, and a lot of space research going on. So now maybe, of course, we cannot say that the unreached sky, but at the time of Walt Whitman, it is definitely unreached sky. All right. So maybe you students can think of uh, the possibility how would have Whitman written this poem if Whitman was living at the moment in 2021. Okay, so Whitman, remember, wrote this poem in 1869, 70, 71. Okay, that is, of course, right. The idea of this poem was in his mind for a long time. Now think of the possibility. He is writing about all that was discovered at the time when he was alive. Now, what would have been written by Whitman if he was alive in 2021? Think of that. So now look at this line again. Like clouds and cloudlets in the unreached sky, along old history, down the slopes. I'm just turning the page. As a rivulet running, rivulet is a small stream, a very small stream, a river. And remember, the poem Passage to India is taken from Autumn Rivulets, the streams of autumn season. That is the title of the collection. So all these great people who dreamed about rounding the earth, who dreamed about traveling to the other continents and countries, all those captains, Vasco da Gama, Columbus, then of course, right, Amerigo Vespucci, all right, all these people just stand in front of him like clouds and cloudlets, innumerable groups, so many, as a rivulet running one by one, as in a procession. Who is there like a rivulet or a cloud? The sailors, captains, and all. As the rivulet running, sinking now. What does it mean? Maybe you remember a group of friends who studied with you in your 10th standard. Okay, you don't see all of them as if in a photograph, a group photo. You don't see them. No. Some faces rise and some fall. Similarly, all these great personalities rise and fall in the mind of Walt Whitman. Is that clear? That's it. As a rivulet, in front is Amerigo Vespucci, behind him is Christopher Columbus, even behind him is Vasco da Gama, even behind him could be, of course, maybe Ferdinand Magellan, even behind him could be Francis Drake. So all these navigators, sailors, captains, one after another, flashing through the mind of Walt Whitman, and he's saluting them. I respect you. You did a great thing. It's because of your boldness. It's because of your courage. It's because your adventurous aspect that America is found, India is found, the sea route is possible. Okay, right? Suez Canal is open. As a rivulet running, sinking now and now again to the surface, rising, a ceaseless thought. All this is a ceaseless, stopless thought, right? All the navigators, sailors, captains, one after another, ceaseless thought, a very train low. Oh my God, look at that. This is a different kind of train. All these people passing one by one. Soul to thee, thy side they rise. Okay, so Walt Whitman and his soul is making a pilgrimage to India, and as Whitman and his soul is moving forward, soul, oh my soul, look at that. Okay, look at that, low soul, look soul, to thee, thy side they rise. All these people, all these sailors, all these navigators rise to your side. You see, okay, my soul, you and I see all these people. And now the plans, the voyages again. All these sailors had lot of plans. They had a lot of dreams. The plans, the voyages again, the expedition. Again, Vasco da Gama sails forth. Now, Vasco da Gama just did his voyage in the 15th century. Remember, the time, the date is, of course, Vasco da Gama came to Kapad on 29th May 1498. That's what we understand. So remember, that is the time. 15th century is the time of geographical discoveries. You know, you study Renaissance and geographical discoveries and all. So again, Vasco da Gama sails forth. Whitman visualizes the travels of Vasco da Gama. Again, the knowledge gained. So, lot of inventions, discoveries, again, knowledge gained. What do you mean by knowledge gained? It is scientific inventions, technological inventions, industrial revolution, steam engine, all right, the train, the railway track. We have, of course, the telecommunication, telephone, all right. All that is again the knowledge gained, the mariner's compass. Now, okay, mariner's compass is very, very useful and helpful for navigators. You know why? You know, especially cadets and all, for knowing north, south, east, west, the directions. You need to have the mariner's compass. Similarly, geographical discoveries, mariners, sailors, etc. The compass is, of course, an inevitable device for now. Of course, you have everything in your smartphone or your mobile, but there was a time like people, navigators, even today, of course, our soldiers, army officers, right, defense personnel depend on the compass, mariner's compass, right? The mariner's compass, lands found and nations born. Thou born America. Whitman speaks about the birth of America. And when was America born? America is born on 12th October 1492. We have Christopher Columbus. We have, of course, Amerigo Vespucci, all these people. But Christopher Columbus is having the credit for finding, of course, the American continent, right? And that was 12th October 1492. America was found, right? And thou born America, for purpose vast, man's long probation fill, thou rounder of the world at last accomplished. Okay, and now Whitman is praising all these people for their courage, for their adventurous spirit, for the scientists and astronomers for just finding the fact that the solar system is, of course, right, we have a solar system. Rather, we have, of course, a sun-centered solar system, not a geocentric solar system. Then again, right, a rounding of the earth is possible. We can go from one part of the earth to the other part, and of course, the geographical right, sea routes found, mariner's compass found. So in this section of the poem, fourth section of the poem, Walt Whitman is praising the navigators, mariners, captains, and all. Now we move on to the fifth section of Passage to India. Let us understand what the fifth section of the poem is about. So before a detailed discussion of the fifth section of the poem, we shall just have a quick reading of the fifth section, and let us just continue. I'm reading the fifth section right now. I'll read and afterwards I'll explain. Look at fifth section of Passage to India. O vast rondure, swimming in sphere, covered all over with visible power and beauty, alternate light and day, and the teeming spiritual darkness, unspeakable high processions of sun and moon, and countless stars above. Below, the manifold grass and waters, animals, mountains, trees, with inscrutable purpose, some hidden prophetic intention. Now, first it seems my thought begins to span thee. down from the gardens of Asia, descending, radiating, Adam and Eve appear, then myriad progeny after them, wandering, yearning, curious with restless explorations, with questionings, baffled, formless, feverish, with never happy hearts, with that sad, incessant refrain, wherefore unsatisfied soul, and whither, O mocking life? Ah, who shall soothe these feverish children? Who justify these restless explorations? Who speak the secret of impassive earth? Who bind it to us? What is this separate nature so unnatural? What is this earth to our affections? Unloving earth, without a throb to answer ours. Call earth the place of graves. Yet Saul, be sure the first intent remains and shall be carried out. Perhaps even now the time has arrived. After the seas are all crossed, or they seem already crossed, after the great captains and engineers have accomplished their work, after the noble inventors and the scientists, the chemists, the geologists, the ethnologists, finally shall come the poet worthy that name. The true Son of God shall come singing his songs. Then not your deeds only, O voyagers, O scientists and inventors, shall be justified. All these hearts as of fretted children shall be soothed. All affection shall be fully responded to. The secret shall be told. All these separations and gaps shall be taken up and hooked and linked together. The whole earth, this cold, impassive, voiceless earth, shall be completely justified. Trinitas divine shall be gloriously accomplished and compacted by the true Son of God, the poet. He shall indeed pass the straits and conquer the mountains. He shall double the Cape of Good Hope to some purpose. Nature and man shall be disjoined and diffuse no more. The true Son of God shall absolutely fuse them. All right, so this is section 5 of this wonderful poem, Passage to India. And in this section 5 of this poem, Walt Whitman talks to us about the problem of man. The problem of man. Like since the time of Adam and Eve, okay? Look at Bible. Look at any holy book. You will see, right, the birth of man, Adam and Eve. And from the time of Adam and Eve till this moment, what is the condition of man? Look at this moment, now, 26th May 2021. What is in your mind? What's in my mind? What's in the mind of people all around us? We are all feverish. We are all upset and worried. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what is life. We don't know why we are born. We don't know why we do all these things. Maybe we think that like your absurd playwrights, you say that life is meaningless, absurd. Why? Because we don't find meaning for life. We have the pandemic, COVID-19, a lot of people dying. Kerala, we know more than 200 people, as per the formal data, die. In India, of course, more than 5,000, 6,000 die per day. All over the world, thousands of people die. And we just wonder, why is it so? We say we believe in God and we pray unto God and we just ask, why God, all this? So the same problem. Mankind had this problem from the time of Adam and Eve to this moment of maybe you and I. All right? Feverish, fretted, turbulent, upset and worried. And Now, in this section, section 5 of this poem, Walt Whitman tells us that this was always there. People always ask the meaning of life from the time of Adam and Eve onwards, or the meaning of life. All right? And remember, the scientists, okay, knowledge, learning, school, college, university, research, a lot of discoveries, and we have knowledge. And now, after the scientists have achieved their goals, okay, still we have no meaning. We have medicines, we have technological, scientific advancements. We can even go to the moon, or rather, we can go to the space. We can live maybe in the other planets. All that is possible, but still life is meaningless, right? And now Walt Whitman says that, okay, this moment when we have scientific discovery, scientific development, and meaninglessness, okay, we can make our life meaningful by passage to India. Why do we go to India? Because India is the land of religions. Asia is the land of religions. India and Asia are lands of temples, gods, religions, fables, myths. Okay? So if we go to the old world, if we go to the past, if we go to India, we get spirituality. We get, of course, knowledge. We may have a part of divinity in us. So let us make this journey. Okay. And when we make that journey, okay, right, we will become one with God. Okay. So let us have a new religion, which is, of course, a religion that is just resulting from the coming together of scientific development, scientific achievements, and spiritual attainment. So the poet has had that. The poet has it, that new religion, because the poet is a visionary, because the poet is a mystic, because the poet is a transcendentalist. Remember that. Whitman, a visionary, a mystic, a transcendentalist, because he knows about religions, because he knows about, of course, Asia, the religions of Asia and India. He is a visionary, and he is the true son of God. He is the poet is the true son of God. And what is special about the true son of God? True son of God, the poet, he can, okay, fuse, combine, join God, nature, and man. And when we can combine ourselves with nature and God, that is mysticism. Okay, we will have meaning in our life. People never had meaning. Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, lot of civilizations, thousands of millions and millions and millions of people in the civilizations of man. None of them had peace or meaning, right? That is what the poet says, right? But if we can make a passage to India, and if we have, of course, an idea of what spirituality is, religion is, if we can just become one with God, we will see that life has meaning. So if you need, of course, spiritual enrichment, meaning for life, make this journey to India, passage to India. And now let us that is the idea of this section. Let us come to section 5 of the poem. I'm just discussing. I read it already. Now, O vast rondeur. O vast rondeur means, O the earth. Rondeur is the round planet. The round planet is the earth. O vast rondeur, O sphere, O earth, swimming in space. You know, we have the solar system, and we have the earth and the other planets. Okay, we have Uranus, Mercury, all right, Neptune, and many other planets. And along with all of them, we have the watery planet, the Earth, who was round or swimming in space, covered all over with visible power and beauty. What is special about the Earth? The Earth is very, very powerful. It's very, very beautiful. Look at the Earth. You can see the flora and fauna. You can see the animals. You can see very, very sky high trees and wonderful, very colorful plants and animals and birds and creatures and all. Oh, vast round you, or swimming in space, covered all over with visible power and beauty. Whitman is praising the Earth. Alternate light and day and the teeming spiritual darkness. Okay, so alternate light and day, right? 24 hours we have, and 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. So we have the universe, all right? We have the Earth. The Earth is rounding and rounding, and now, and look at that, alternate day, light and day, the teeming spiritual darkness. Despite of all this, we have spiritual darkness. We don't know what is the meaning of life. What do you mean by spiritual darkness? The question of what is life. So this teeming spiritual darkness was in the world since the time of Adam and Eve, and Whitman is helping us to get rid of this teeming spiritual darkness. How can you get rid of this spiritual darkness, teeming spiritual darkness? By having spirituality, by having mysticism, by making a travel to Asia, India, and of course, religion. Alternate light and day and the teeming spiritual darkness, unspeakable high processions of sun and moon and countless stars above. Now Walt Whitman is writing about or glorifying the solar system. So many planets and a lot of stars. We have galaxies and Milky Ways and all. So he speaks about all that. Countless stars and above, below, right? Now the poet, he's just soaring up along with his soul. He's traveling. Okay, poet and his soul, they are just flying, hovering like the parakeet, right? The paraclete, right? Or rather, like a dove in the air, like a bird in the air, like a falcon in the air, right? Looking down from maybe the through the eyes of the bird. Look at that. Okay. Unspeakable high processions of sun and moon and countless stars above. Below, the manifold grass and waters, animals, mountains, trees with inscrutable purpose, some hidden prophetic intention. We don't know why we are born. We don't know the meaning of life. With some prophetic intention, hidden intention. God has some purpose behind the birth of you and I. Now first it seems my thought begins to span thee. Okay, now I am just, my thought begins to span thee. Whitman is spanning thee. Spanning what? Whitman is spanning means measuring. Whitman and his soul are measuring or going around the planet. Whitman, the true son of God, the poet, the visionary, is thinking about the significance of life, the meaning of life, looking at the planet. Okay, and now let's continue. Down from the gardens. So Whitman is looking at the history of man, the civilizations of man. Down from the gardens of Asia, descending, radiating, Adam and Eve appear. Now, when Walt Whitman is looking at human civilization, Walt Whitman, the poet, with his visionary power, with the visionary power of the poet, Whitman is looking at human civilization. And when he is looking at human civilization, in front is Adam and Eve. They come. Where do they come from? They come from Garden of Eden. And where is Garden of Eden? Garden of Eden is in Asia. Okay, so down from the gardens of Asia, descending, radiating, Adam and Eve appear, and their myriad progeny after them. What do you mean by myriad? Thousands of myriad progeny. Progeny, their children and their children and their children. Right? So the generations after Adam and Eve come, or rather, Whitman can see the very children of Adam and Eve when he is looking at human civilization with his visionary power. He is a poet. Adam and Eve appear, then their myriad progeny after them, wandering. What did they do? We have been wandering. Yeah, studying, researching, working, yearning, depositing, right? Maybe crores and crores of rupees, right? Meaningless. Maybe we think that, yeah, I want to grow up. I want to educate myself. I want to have a good job. I want to have, of course, a big house, big car, luxury car, get married to the, of course, most beautiful girl, all right, or most handsome man, all right. We think about that. Despite of having all this, we are downhearted, no joy. You make, maybe you become a billionaire. You may have hundreds of palatial buildings and luxurious cars, and you have all the costly watches and all the devices you want. Still, you are discontent. You are unsatisfied. Okay, why? Because you are not having divinity in you, because you don't have you don't find God in you, because you can't be one with God. And this is the problem with the modern world. You have scientific development on one side, but no spiritual development on the other side. So let us have spirituality. Let us be one with God. In order to have Sachidananda, or in order to have unity, in order to become one with God, go to India. Same thing in wasteland, Datta, Dayata, Damyada. Go to the Vedas, go to the Upanishads, go to the Bible, go to the Quran, go to Gita, the Mahabharata. All right? So that you have meaning for your life. So down from the gardens of nature, descending, radiating, Adam and Eve appear. Then their myriad progeny after them, wandering, yearning, curious, with restless explorations. Okay, restless explorations, right? Curious all the time, right? With questionings, lot of questions. Why is it so? Okay, why there is suffering, why there is disease, why there is COVID-19, why people die. Okay, questioning and all. Baffled, formless, feverish, with never happy hearts. Nobody is happy. Okay, maybe we are not happy, right? We are not happy. And this is what Matthew Arnold writes about in Dover Beach. Okay, this is what all the writers write about. This is what ONV writes about. This is what Sugata Kumari writes about. This is what all the poets write. Even Yeats or Eliot or anybody writes about the restlessness of man. എൻ്റെ കാതിൽ അലയ്ക്കുന്നു നിത്യമാനുഷ്യ രോദനം, എൻ്റെ കാലിൽ തറയ്ക്കുന്നു മനുഷ്യ തലയോടുകൾ. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the Falcon cannot hear the Faulkner. Things fall apart, mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. Same we have in Shakespeare as well. Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Okay, so Whitman speaks about the meaninglessness that modern man finds in his life. Formless, feverish, with never happy hearts, with a sad, incessant refrain, wherefore unsatisfied soul. Okay, my soul, where are we heading forward to? Why do I live today? What's going to happen tomorrow? No meaning for life. Why should I live? Maybe I'm going to have COVID, right? Maybe I'm going to be COVID positive, right? Maybe I die. And still, yeah, we are worried and upset, right? No happiness, no joy, no peace. All right. So, all right, with sad, incessant refrain. This is the sad, incessant restrain, repetition all the time we have in our world. Wherefore, unsatisfied soul. Oh, my soul, where are we going? ഇതെന്ത് ജീവിതമാണ്? എന്തിനാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ജീവിക്കുന്നത്? Why? ഇതൊന്നും ശരിയാകില്ലേ? നിപ്പ വന്നു, കോവിഡ് വന്നു, ഇനി എന്ത് വരാൻ പോകുന്നു? ബ്ലാക്ക് ഫംഗസ്, മഞ്ഞ ഫംഗസ്, കറുത്ത ഫംഗസ്, ഒന്നും പറയണ്ട. Right? Wherefore, unsatisfied soul, where are we going? And whither, oh mocking life? Life is mocking at us. You human being, what are you? Okay? This moment, കാലത്തും ഉച്ചയ്ക്കും അന്തിക്കും രാവിലും കാലന്തൻ വെൺമഴു കൈയടാതെ ആയർദ്ര മൂലത്തിൽ ആഞ്ഞാഞ്ഞു വെട്ടുന്നുണ്ടായത് ഹൃത്സ്പന്ദവേദ്യമാർക്കും. നമ്മളുടെ ഈ ഹൃദയ സ്പന്ദനത്തിന്റെ നിമിഷം ഒരുപക്ഷെ നമ്മളുടെ അവസാന നിമിഷമായിരിക്കാം. നമ്മളെ ഹൃദയം ഓരോ നിമിഷവും സ്പന്ദിക്കുന്നത് കാലന്റെ മഴു നമ്മളെ ജീവിത വൃക്ഷത്തിന്റെ ചുവട്ടിൽ പതിക്കുന്ന ശബ്ദമാണ്. ടാം 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 ടാം. Maybe this moment you and I can die. And if somebody dies in your family, in my family, in our neighborhood, we ask, what is life? Why did I live my life? Why did I work hard? എന്തിനാ ഞാൻ ഈ പൈസ എല്ലാം ഉണ്ടാക്കി വെച്ചത്? All this is becoming futile. That is life. All right? And Whitman is just writing about that. Wherefore, unsatisfied soul, and whither, O mocking life? Where are we heading forward to? Modern man has no answer. So Whitman says, when you find no answer for all these questions, go to religion, go to Bible, go to Quran, go to Gita, go to Vedas, go to Upanishads and find meaning. Understand that this is not reality. This life is not reality. നമ്മളിവിടെ ഈ പ്രപഞ്ചത്തിൽ വന്നിട്ട് 40 വയസ്സോ 45 വയസ്സോ 50 വയസ്സോ 60 വയസ്സോ ജീവിച്ചിട്ട് പോകുന്നതല്ല ജീവിതം. We are all part of the oversoul. ഈ പ്രപഞ്ചത്തിന്റെ സൃഷ്ടാവായ പരമാത്മാവായ ആ പരമാത്മാവിന്റെ ഒരു ചെറിയ ഒരു ഭാഗം മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഓരോരുത്തരും. അതുപോലെ ഈ പ്രപഞ്ചത്തിലുള്ള സകല ചരാചരങ്ങൾ, ജീവനുള്ളതും ജീവനില്ലാത്തതും എല്ലാം, it is part of the oversoul. It is part of the പരമാത്മാ. പരമാത്മാവിന്റെ ആത്മാവിന്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗം മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഓരോരുത്തരും. നമ്മൾ കുറച്ചു കാലം ഇവിടെ വരുന്നു, പട്ടിയെ പോലെയോ പൂച്ചയെ പോലെയോ മനുഷ്യനെ പോലെയോ ജീവിക്കുന്നു, മരിക്കുന്നു. നമ്മൾ മരിച്ചാലും ജീവിക്കും. പിന്നീട് നമ്മൾ ആ ആത്മാവിലേക്ക് തന്നെ, പരമാത്മാവിലേക്ക് തന്നെ തിരിച്ചു പോകുന്നു. That's what Islam teach, that's what Christianity teach, that's what Buddhism teach, that's what Jainism teach, that's what all the religions teach. And Whitman wants modern man to understand that, then we will have meaning for our life. So this is the reason why Whitman is asking his soul to make a journey to India, passage or soul to India. All right, now let's continue. Who shall soothe these feverish children? Who is going to comfort these people? Feverish children. All the modern people are feverish. They are sick with many problems. Okay, so who shall soothe these feverish children? Who justify these restless explorations? Who justify these restless explorations? A lot of explorations going on, a lot of researches going on. Researches, of course, for more powerful vaccine, for medicine, for maybe making a travel to the other planet where there is no pandemic, no COVID. Okay, a lot of explorations going on. Who speak the secret of impassive earth? Okay, the earth is impassive. There is no emotion. There is no emotion or passion in this earth. All right, and who bind it to us? Why are we here? What is this separate nature so unnatural? Okay, so no meaning for humanity, and we are asking all these questions. What is this earth to our affectations, right? We live our life, and why are we here? What is the meaning of our life? unloving earth. Maybe the earth is unloving. The earth is not kind to us. Life is rather difficult for us. So why is it so? Why do I suffer? Why there is pain in my life? Why there is problem in my family? Why there is problem in my country? All right, no answer. And why is this earth to our affections, unloving earth, without a throb to answer ours? The earth doesn't answer our questions. Okay? Cold earth, the place of graves. And Whitman says, to modern man, the earth is cold earth. The earth is again a place of graves. Absolutely. The earth is place of graves. And it's true. Okay, a lot of people die and we are all buried there. All right, and we are all going to the grave. Right, and that's what Valar said. Manishya, right? What is it? Mannugundu tirthu ninne manilayikkunnu. All right, and he will again go back to the soil. We are all a handful of ash, a handful of soil. We go back. We come from the soil. We go to the soil. That's what you read in all the holy books, like God creating Adam and Eve from a handful of maybe soil or dust. Dust thou what? And to dust thou shalt go. That's what you understand, right? Okay. So cold earth, the place of graves, right? And because of all this reason, we don't understand the meaning of our life. Yet soul be sure the first intent remains. Despite of all this, the first intent remains. And what is the first intent? The first intent is to rondure the earth, to go around the earth, to go around the earth. Okay, that is the first intent. Yet soul be sure the first intent remains. Yet soul be sure the first intent remains. That is to span the earth. We haven't gone around the earth. So now with of course the opening of Suez Canal, with the train transport communication, this is possible. And let us make a pilgrimage. All right, let us make a passage. Yet soul be sure the first intent. So again, remember, first intent for annotation, you should understand the first intent remains. What is the first intent? The first intent is spanning the earth, going around the earth. That was the intent of course, all the mariners, navigators, and shall be carried out perhaps even now. The time has arrived. Now this is the time. With a shortcut, a short route to a sea route to India, Vasco da Gama, with of course the opening of Suez Canal. All right, it's possible we can go to India. And when we go to India, when we go around the globe, we can of course come to the land of religions. We can come to the land of holy books, and religions, holy books will help us to have meaning for our life. Let us make a new religion, says Walt Whitman. We continue. Okay, if you find this lecture useful, please of course like, and you can comment, and of course you can ask your friends to of course subscribe my channel. We are just going forward to the next section of next part of fifth section of Passage to India. After the seas are all crossed. Now all the seas, all the oceans are crossed. All they seem already crossed. Okay, Columbus, Magellan, all right, Amerigo Vespucci, Vasco da Gama, then Ferdinand Magellan, Francis Drake, all these people, they are navigators, and they have just gone around the globe. After the seas are all crossed, as they seem already crossed, after the great captains and engineers have accomplished their work. Now, after all this, after the noble inventors and after the scientists, now remember, we have inventors, we have invention of electricity, we invent invention of steam engine, we have invention of course the press, we have invention of a lot of devices and industrial revolution, and of course after the scientists, a lot of scientific experiments, The chemists, a lot of right medicines, a lot of chemicals found. Okay, understand, more than 500 chemicals are being invented annually in United States of America alone. All this is because of science. And now all this is just boomeranging. It is having a negative impact on the life of man. That's why we have global warming. That's why we have ozone layer depletion. That's why we have climatic changes. That's why we have flooding, cyclone, all that. So after the Nobel inventors, after the scientists, the chemists, the geologists, all right, you know all these things, right? Okay, what scientists do, what chemists do, what the geologists do, what ethnologists do. Okay, what do ethnologists do? Ethnology is, of course, a branch of anthropology, which is about different cultures. Despite of all that, what is life? Now that we have, of course, ethnologists and anthropology, how do we benefit? What is the benefit of anthropology? What is the benefit of ethnology? The benefit of anthropology and ethnology is it's easy for modern man to find an enemy, or maybe somebody who is not of my race, my culture. There is the other. I am an Indian. All right, maybe I am an Aryan. I'm a Dravidian. I'm a Mongolian. He is not that. He's my enemy because he doesn't belong to my culture. He doesn't belong to my race. He doesn't belong to my language. He doesn't belong to my land and country. So, yeah, this is it, right? In fact, all these scientists, science, technology, geology, ethnology, anthropology, all this should help the improvement of man, but it doesn't happen. Okay, and all that is because of the lack of spirituality. It is because of the lack of the idea of the oversoul paramatma, that is of course God. And after the noble inventors, after the scientists, the chemists, the geologists, ethnologists, finally shall come the poet worthy that name. Okay, at last we have navigators right now, geologists right now, anthropologists right now, ethnologists right now. At last there is somebody. Who is that? That is the poet. And who is the poet? The poet is the Son of God. Poet is the prophet. Poet is the visionary. Poet is the Son of God. And Whitman speaks to us about the ultimate reality. Finally shall come the poet worthy that name. The true Son of God shall come singing his songs. And now the poet Whitman, and of course whoever is like Whitman, all the other poets, they come, and what do? They sing. The true Son of God shall come singing his songs. Okay, the true Son of God is the poet, and the poet is singing his songs. And now Walt Whitman is singing his song about, of course, a religion, a new religion, and that religion is a religion which is a combination of the scientific achievements and spiritual attainments, right? Scientific achievements of the present and the spiritual attainments of the past. And that religion will help us to have meaning for ourselves. Okay, and for that we have to make a passage to India. We come to the last section of last part of section 5 of passage to India. Then note your deeds only, O voyagers. Okay, now I the poet, I the true Son of God. I'm not singing about the voyages, navigators, mariners, Vasco da Gama, Amerigo Vespucci, Christopher Columbus. No, I'm not singing about them alone. O scientists and inventors shall be justified, right? Okay. Then note your deeds only, O voyagers. O scientists and inventors shall be justified. Okay. So now I'm not just justifying the deeds of navigators, voyagers, scientists, and all. Okay. All these hearts of fretted children shall be soothed. Now I or we have to soothe relieve, console, and comfort the hearts of all the all the fretted children. Who are fretted children? Fretted children are the worried, upset, tensed modern man. Now it is up to the poet to console modern man, because poet has the ultimate. The poet knows the ultimate reality. Okay, so all these hearts as of fretted children shall be soothed, all affection shall be fully responded to. Okay, now the poet we have to, of course, explain everything in this universe, explain everything in this world, especially the meaninglessness. The secret shall be told. The Son of God, the poet, the visionary will just resolve or unravel the mystery behind the life of us. All these hearts as of fretted children shall be soothed. All affection shall be fully responded to. The secret shall be told. All these separations and gaps shall be taken up and hooked and linked together. Now the poet tells us that with the help of God, with the power of God, the true Son of God, that is poet, can just explain everything in the world, explain everything that is happening, explain why we are born, explain what is the meaning of life. All affection shall be fully responded to. The secret shall be told. All these separations and gaps shall be taken up. So there are a lot of separations, physical and spiritual, okay, emotional and psychological, and all these separations, physical of the continents, physical of the countries, physical of human beings, emotional of the people, psychological of hearts, all this has to be explained. All these separations and gaps shall be taken up and hooked and linked together. So the entire universe, all the 7 continents, all the countries of the world is going to be combined, is going to be connected. Similarly, all humanity is going to be connected. People in America, people in England, people in Asia, Africa, Nigeria, Uganda, Afghanistan, and India, all these people must be united. There must be a spiritual union of all the people of the world. We are all children of God, no matter whether I am an Indian or a Pakistani or an Afghanistani or a Nigerian or an American or a French or an Italian or an English. We are all children of God. We are all children of the same God. There is just one God. Let us not look at the other based on caste, creed, color, or religion. ജാതിയും മതവും ഒന്നും നോക്കാതെ നമ്മൾ പരസ്പരം എല്ലാവരും ദൈവത്തിന്റെ മക്കളാണെന്ന് കാണുന്ന ആ ഒരു കാഴ്ചയാണ് യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ മനുഷ്യന് വേണ്ടത്. അതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ആധുനിക ലോകത്തിൽ മനുഷ്യന് ഇല്ലാത്തത് എന്ന് Walt Whitman is asserting. That's what Ullur in his poem says, right? ഒരൊറ്റ മതമുണ്ട് ഉലകിനുയിരാം പ്രേമമതൊന്നല്ലോ പരക്ക നമ്മെ പാലമൃദൂട്ടും പാർവണ ശശിബിംബം. That's what all poets speak about, right? The whole earth, this called impassive, voiceless earth, shall be completely justified. Now, when we know religions, when we know about God, when we know about holy books, Bible, Upanishads, Vedas, and Puranas, we will be able to justify our life on this earth. Let us know the religions, let us know the Bible, let us know the Vedas, let us know the Upanishads and Puranas. Then we will be able to justify this cold, impassive, voiceless earth. Trinitas divine shall be gloriously accomplished and compacted by the true Son of God, the poet. Trinitas divine. What is Trinitas divine? Okay, we have no meaning for our life because we cannot accomplish Trinitas divine. What is Trinitas divine? Trinitas divine is the Holy Trinity. Trinitas divine is Holy Trinity. What is Holy Trinity? Holy Trinity is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Holy Trinity is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Pidavu, Putranam, Parishudharmavu. Triyega Devam. All right, that is Holy Trinity. Right, that is the Brahma, the Vishnu, and the Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. It is the Brahma, the Vishnu, and the Shiva. That is the universe, right? Okay, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Same thing. Right, we are all part of the Paramatma, the Paramatma Jivatma relationship, right? Hindu mythology, Christian mythology, Islamic religion, all this is speaking about the Brahma, right? The Vishnu and the Shiva, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, we are all from the oversoul Paramatma, and we just live our life here. We go back. So the Trinitas divine, the Holy Trinity, shall be gloriously accomplished and compacted by the true Son of God, the poet. The poet can, Walt Whitman can, visionary people can explain Trinitas divine, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, there is God in everyone, and even after our death, we go back to the God. All right, life doesn't end ever. All right, that's it. That's what we again say when we have pantheists also do that, right? Okay, pantheism we have, right? All right. So Trinitas divine shall be gloriously accomplished and compacted by the true Son of God, the poet. He shall indeed pass the straits and conquer the mountains. True Son of God, the poet, can conquer the straits. What are the straits? The narrow passages. Like we have different traits in the oceans and of course the lands, and all the traits, all the gaps between the continents in the oceans and seas can be conquered by the true Son of God. That is poet Whitman is just moving to India with his soul because he is the true Son of God. So let entire humanity know that they can be one with God. They can also make a passage to India along with their soul if they have some spirituality, if they know the very profound realities of all the religions of the world. He shall indeed pass the straits and conquer the mountains. And conquer the mountains. He shall double the Cape of Good Hope to some purpose. And now we can go around Cape of Good Hope. You know, Cape of Good Hope at the extreme southern tip of African continent, and people from Europe, especially Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama, came all the way from Europe, from of course Portugal to the southern tip of Africa, Cape of Good Hope, and headed forth to the Indian subcontinent, reached Cape Hard. Remember that. So he shall double the Cape of Good Hope to some purpose. Nature and man shall be disjoined and diffused no more. Now, with the opening of Suez Canal, with the sea route to India, nature and God and man shall no more be disjointed, disconnected, diffused. Okay? People in Europe, people in America, people in Africa, people in Asia, they have to be connected through religion. They have to be unified through divinity. So people in West must go to India. So it is possible because Suez Canal is open. Possible because we have the sea route to India by Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama. He shall double the Cape of Good Hope to some purpose. Nature and man shall be disjoined and diffused no more. No more separation of nature, man, and God. The true Son of God shall absolutely fuse them. And the true Son of God, who is the true Son of God? Walt Whitman. the poet. Poets are the true sons of God. And poets, especially Walt Whitman, the true son of God, will help nature, man, and God unify. There will be a fusion, a coming together of the Trinitas divine, that is, man, earth, God. Okay, so let us, along with Walt Whitman and his soul, make a passage to India, and let us just become one with God. Okay, so with that, we come to the end of section 5 of this great poem, Passage to India. Next day, in the live streaming lecture, we will move on to section 6. Section 6 is, of course, rather long. We'll go to the section 6 of the poem. Today, now it's almost right now it is 1:35. I'm sure you must be very hungry. So I just leave you here. All of you, please listen to the previous live streaming lectures on thank you previous live streaming sections, and have a clear idea about this poem. It's one of the best poems of the world, American poetry, American literature. Next session, of course, we will look at the 6th section of the poem. Have your lunch and have a wonderful afternoon. May God bless you all. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.